How are you? How's it going? It is another wonderfully chilly day here in New York City. It's actually, New York actually quiets down a little bit when it gets a little chillier outside. All the personalities, like all that hypertension comes down. Just a hair. How come?
I'm not sure if it's in New York yet.
Oh, okay.
Looking like it's in my person.
Okay.
I'll tell you for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Well, anyway, I'll just keep talking until we do it. Just,
Should I stay on?
I don't know.
You guys should stay on.
Alright.
So, everything sort of quiets down a little bit, right? Like everyone calms down just a little bit when it's a little bit cooler out. As if somehow the heat gets us all riled up. Like we honk on our horn just a little bit less, right? And we sort of curse at each other a little bit less. Like I went to get coffee this morning and everybody was, brace yourself, standing in line.
Oh, it was here.
Just waiting to order their coffee.
I was in the
But when
Jennawolfeshow
it's,
show. Not
so now Lance is actually talking while I'm talking, which
I'm
is...
sorry. Well, we're not live yet on the main thing. I actually had two things coming up on the Jennawolfeshow.
So why don't you guys take a look at Lance? Go look at Lance.
Hi guys. This is incompetence at its
Yeah.
at its best. So
Hashtag professionalism.
You know, I try to get the job done. I don't do
I'm
a
striving
perfect
for
job.
more than just get the job done.
I am striving for perfection, but perfection is the enemy of the good, and I don't want the enemy here. So,
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
you ready?
Yes.
We're going to be live in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. We're back.
How you doing?
I am happy. I've had better.
You've had better days? That was me yesterday. I had that terrible day yesterday, and it actually worked itself out to the point where I went to bed at a reasonable hour, preparing myself for what has become routine in my house, which is a prompt 4:30 a.m. wake-up call. But it's all good. We're all awake. It is cooler today in New York. Contemplated wearing a scarf. People have been nice out on the street, less honking. I don't even hear a siren. So it's a little bit
That's because
calmer.
nobody could get into New York.
Nobody can get into New York. There was a tragic train derailment or crash of some sort at the Hoboken station in New Jersey. I haven't read that much about it, so I'm not sure what's happening. I know there were injuries and a few fatalities. So maybe that's why traffic has been at a standstill and you don't hear anything. Actually, are people even... Yeah, there's still people that are out and about. Anyway, so I was just on the phone. I was going to talk about this tomorrow, but I was just on the phone with someone who had to rush off because they were getting ready for Rosh Hashanah, which has turned, Rosh Hashanah has basically turned into sort of what Christmas usually is, where say if Christmas falls on like a Saturday, on Tuesday people are like, I got to get out of here. Because if Christmas is coming, I need to be in the right frame of mind for the Christmas, which is 6 days away.
Right,
so,
Rosh Hashanah this year is a 5-day weekend.
Okay, so Rosh Hashanah, which when I was at ABC everyone called it Rosh Hashanah, has turned into that, which is Rosh Hashanah is on like Monday, right? Sunday night into Monday. So really Monday at 10 a.m. is when you need to be sitting in temple. What is today? Thursday. Someone had to get me off the phone quickly so they could get ready to get home to Rosh Hashanah. I said, oh, where are you flying to? Like, you better hurry. Where are you going? It's to Westchester.
Phyllis says hi, Jenna.
Hi, Phyllis.
Tammy says hi, Jenna.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
Gracie says good morning from Iowa.
Good morning, Gracie from Iowa.
Emily says hi from Houston.
Good morning, Houston.
Donald says hi, Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hello.
Did you get a lot of hi, Jenny?
I've not gotten a lot of hi, Jennies.
Debbie.
Debbie.
Says good morning from Indianapolis.
Okay. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Wait till you hear this funny story. So, that being said, I celebrate Rosh Hashanah. You know, do I practice Judaism 365 days a year? No, but like any New York City Jew, you know, we the high holy days, those are the days where we all have to put on our nicest...
I don't want to interrupt you again, but talking about Judaism and respecting your parents, your
Yes.
mom says hi.
Mom, how you doing? This is going to be a thing now. This is how my mom and I are going to connect, because every day she calls me at the end of the day and she said, how was your day? Well, my day is like a sprouting sprig going like this all hours of all the entire days of the week. And so by the time nighttime rolls around, all she really gets is the same thing this poor woman I got when I was in high school, which was, it was good. It was good because I can't remember. It used to be that I didn't want to remember, and now I had 2 babies. Out with the babies came all of my brain cells, and I can't remember. So my mom asked me how it going. I said it's good. now she can tune in and actually hear everything on my mind, which is just more than she wants to know, frankly. But Mom, if you're listening, which you are, and watching, hopefully, which you are, it's great to have you, and you need to come sit down next to me sometime, because I love you to death. You are the best. And listen to how I'm going to describe Rosh Hashanah with the wolf elves, whatever. Everyone's rushing home for Rosh Hashanah, as are we, but not a big rush. We're going to go on Monday, because Rosh Hashanah is Monday. Well, Monday during the day. And the way it used to work in years past was like a complete episode out of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I understand I'm probably going to get my dad in trouble for this, but I'm going to tell you how it goes. You buy, first of all, it's really expensive now to go to temple. It's like really expensive to buy tickets for one thing. A big business. Yeah, it's a big business, this whole Judaism thing. So, you know, tickets are really hard to come by. I mean, they're scalping these things. It's tough. StubHub, you can get tickets for Bet Torah. Anyway, you get 2 tickets, right? But you got 6 people that need to go in on 2 tickets. So as any good Larry David fan would do, this is how it works. You send 2 people in, 1 comes out. 2 more go in, 2 comes out. 2 comes out, 1 goes in, 1 comes out, goes around the other side, a full cycle, takes someone they don't know, so it looks like someone else is going in. Now 2 more tickets come out with 1 person, so the next 2 go in. So now you have 1 family member left that's outside. That's the lucky person. That person, if they play their cards right, could probably get through the entire sermon without having gotten in on a new ticket. But sometimes it doesn't always work, because my dad's got the system like this. It's a well-oiled machine, this system, right? Nobody stays out too long. But now, this is how it used to be. It was this, and if you put one of those cameras that speed through things and go fast forward, it was, so this is the door of the temple like this, and here's the temple. It was, in, 1's out, 2's in, 2's out, 1's in, and we're all in. But now we have kids. We have 2 little babies. My brother has 2 little boys. So now it's chaos. It's the adults with the tickets.
Oh, they don't go to youth groups?
No, they don't. Well, we go to my parents. I don't even want to say. Now I feel bad even saying that we do this at the temple. This is. I don't even want to say anything anymore. Forget. Let's just knock the whole story down. We're still young enough where we're not going to our own temples yet. Okay. We're actually still under our parents' umbrella, so we're not. How's everybody doing? What's up? Right now, like, our rabbi is probably like.
I remember the first time I actually watched. I watched TV at synagogue. The Reds. I used to live in Columbus, Ohio.
You put the game.
And they had the game on. We went to the janitor's room to watch the World Series.
I love that.
On Yom Kippur, yeah.
Well, listen.
Yom Kippur memory.
I mean, we could do a whole thing on breaking the rules in the temple. This is not even a religious conversation. This is a conversation with anyone of any that has a speck of.
Debbie never knew that. Debbie Brown is actually saying, she's asking, you have to buy tickets to temple? Yeah. Never knew that. Sorry, right? Episcopalian ignorance.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. Judy.
I-O, Marie. I-O. Marie actually did the O-H.
The O-H.
O-H-I-O?
Oh, O-H-I-O. Gotcha. But I will say that there are other interesting things that you do to break the rules. The deal you make with God, like what is it? Like on Yom Kippur, which is the 24 hours from sundown to sundown that you're supposed to fast. The layman, what's that book where instead of reading all of Shakespeare, you get Cliff Notes. The Cliff Noted version of how Rosh Hashanah works is, right, you need to be good. God supposedly
Sharon says you can now attend services online.
Oh, this is great. No tickets.
Right.
Anyway,
we should have been doing it on Monday.
I know. You're supposed to be good for 24 hours. He opens his book. He sees how everybody is acting. If you're very good, he closes the book, and you've got good grace and good fortune for the year. That is sort of how it has been explained to me. That and the fact that Sandy Koufax never played baseball on Yom Kippur, and so that's why I've never been able to go to work on that day is the same thing. Regardless, I get it. You're not supposed to eat, and we don't eat. That being said, it doesn't say anything in any kind of biblical book about bad breath. So on this Yom Kippur, I think that everybody in temple needs to have a piece of gum. I think they should hand out a piece of gum. So I go with gum or with mints, and I make sure that at least my family, because you know what they do, they whisper to each other. Like someone will whisper, "What time are we leaving?" And I literally am like, and I will pass out. So I'm like, don't talk to me unless you take a breath. So that's the first way we've disgraced God. The second way is this, of course. because nobody can go 3 hours without checking anything. So it's, yes, we're all here, we're looking around, we're saying hi.
They actually make a case that people can put their phones in. Like the family will put their phone in before the Sabbath.
Yeah, so no one goes in there.
And they lock it up, and it's like clear.
It doesn't happen. No, we're not that religious. We're not religious at all. We just, go for the traditional aspect of it. So that's the holiday with us. And I drag poor Steph. Has to be a part of the whole thing from start to finish. So I can't wait to explain to you. I was going to talk about that tomorrow, but somebody was rushing home to get to Rosh Hashanah again, which is like a week away. So I'm glad that hopefully she'll make it on time. I'm sure she will. That being said, everything else was smooth this morning. I had a great morning. Got out of the house. Quinn went to a new class. She's only 19 months, so there's no, I'm a little nervous. There's no, I hope I get along with the other kids. There's no, will the teacher like me? There's no, do you like what I'm wearing? Like, it's bliss. Like, don't we all wish we could be 19 months again? I'd love to be able to do that. Some rattles. There were some ukuleles. There were a couple of the funny things. I said, you're going to be just fine today. And that is basically it. Yeah, and that brings us to today. And we have a fun show today, actually. One of my dear friends is coming on. He's ridiculously talented as a guitar singer-songwriter. But guess what? That's not even what he does now. He's like even more talented as the next big thing that he has taken on. And this is not just about showcasing interesting and talented people.
You want a personal question?
Yeah, I want a personal question.
Why don't you wear a wedding ring?
So I could lie and tell you something, or I could just tell you the truth. And moving forward, I will answer every question. First, the lie? Oh, you want the lie?
I want the lie first.
Oh, the lie is, actually, I don't even have a lie. I'll just tell you the truth. Do I have a lie? The truth is that the rings are really loose, and I ended up getting married. We're for gay marriage, and it's wonderful, and everyone should have the right to be in a union with someone else, everyone across the board. Steph and I, it wasn't the most important thing in the world. It was not something that we were rushing to do. I was going to have the baby, I was going to have Harper, on August 21st. And we found out on about August, I think, 10th, that if we weren't married, and I went into the hospital and something happened to me, Stephanie would not have rights to that baby. This is when Harper was born. That baby would go to my parents, which blows my mind, and it should blow anyone's mind. We were living together, we had this baby together, this is my partner for life, and if I had this baby, if something happened to me, the baby would not belong to Stephanie. So, we did what anyone would do. We rush. It's New York City, you gotta get a judge, you gotta get some papers, you gotta do like this much paperwork, and we very quickly managed to just get a judge to come and to marry us before I had this baby. So if anyone has ever been pregnant and had a baby, how swollen are your fingers? They're like sausages connected to like your arms, right? So at the time, the ring did not fit on my fingers, so I got a bigger ring. And my right finger, I sprained multiple times. My left finger, I sprained multiple times playing basketball in high school. It's bigger than my. Long story short, now that I've lost all the baby weight, it's too big, and I've been too lazy to just go get it resized because it's easier to just fit here, and you're the only person that's ever really asked that question, so I didn't feel like I needed to do it. If 27 people now start asking, maybe it's something I will do. This ring is my grandmother's ring, and I don't have anything from my grandmother except for this. I was covering the Beijing Olympics for the Today Show, and my friend Matt came to visit. This is a great story. Great story. My friend, no, because it ended with my grandmother dying, but yes, because of what happened in between. Matt came to visit, my best friend at the time. After Beijing, we went to a little vacation, and we ended up in Thailand, and we were there one day, and it was beautiful, and everything was gorgeous, whatever, and we get a call that my grandmother had passed away. That's who Harper was named after, Harper Estelle.
How old was she?
What's that?
How old was she?
So Estelle was, I think she was like, Mom, if you're watching, how old was Estelle? Early 80s, probably. Wonderful woman, smart as a whip, opinionated, but in a funny way, so Jewish, so everything, like everything you want your grandmother to be, like really simplistic with her advice. Though one of those things where like brevity is the soul of wit. That was my Estelle. Anyway, we find out that my grandmother Estelle died, and obviously cut the vacation, and I go to book a flight to come back to New York.
She was 81.
81. Thanks, Mom. one of the most wonderful people you'll ever meet. Just warm and soft, beautiful hands, and you just loved being around her. She had great stories to tell. Anyway, we come to quickly book a flight back to New York, obviously, for the funeral. What are the chances they are protesting something with the government in Thailand? All the airports are closed. Can't get out. Can't leave. Cannot leave Thailand. We tried everything at every airline. I have pictures of me with 87,000 of my closest friends, which somehow when people leave Thailand, they bring all their valuable belongings with them. So everyone's got 47 pieces of luggage with them. Like Matt and I were caught in the middle of it. We did it for 2 straight days and we couldn't get out. So we decided I was just going to have to, I couldn't do it. I felt terrible. I went out to the beach and I wrote my grandmother's name in the sand at dusk, and I took a picture of it and we faxed it, and it was going to, I didn't know, there's no protocol for this. I was like, can you put that in with my grandmother when she, so they did that, and I decided I was going to Skype my funeral speech, right? Because it was the only way that I could be there.
Because we hadn't started the Jenna Wolf Show.
We didn't start the Jenna Wolf Show, otherwise I would have devoted the whole show. So I'm going to Skype the thing. So we're, what is it, like a 12-hour difference, morning and night, between here and Asia. So we go to Skype the funeral speech, and I'm all set, and I'm just basically dressed from here up because that's all you can see. And I really wrote a nice speech, and I was inspired by her, and so much wit and so much wisdom, and this is really going to be moving and funny and just eclectic, and just a great all-around speech to really explain to you who this woman is. And I'm about 10 seconds into the speech, and for whatever reason, my good, dear, sweet friend Matt forgot that I was doing this and gets up, because he was sleeping, and walks behind me in like the skimpiest, most ripped up pair of boxer shorts. I'm not even sure if he was even wearing them. You ever saw? So now I'm like, and the other thing, what? Freaked out. Like, you can't, literally, when I tell people that I'm a walking episode of Seinfeld, he's walking behind me with a room full of mourners, my family. So it's already went from PG to some sort of weird R-rated something or other in the middle of the speech. I, of course, stand up. I'm wearing my own little boxer shorts because I just got dressed from the hips up. It was, needless to say, a little bit of a disaster. Guess what? Family still loves me, because that's what family does. And you want to know something else? It's exactly the way my grandmother would have wanted the whole thing to...
What did you call Estelle growing up? Did you call her Estelle?
Did my mom ask?
No, that was me
asking.
Oh,
so we called my dad's parents Nana and Pop-Ups, and we called my mom's parents Grandma and Grandpa. But we used to make fun and nickname my grandmother Grandmamar, because sometimes you're like, Grandmamar, like as a joke, and then Grandmamar sounded like Kandahar, so then we called her Kandahar, and the nickname for Kandahar was Candy, so we ended up calling her Candy. So that was just very bizarre. I thought I would just mention that. But yeah, she was my grandma and grandpa. And yes, the other day we had Joe on, who was a Holocaust survivor, who was brought from Berlin to Great Britain with a transport system that the British set up called Kinder Transport. Absolutely emotional, heart-tugging, warm story, that because it ended up the way it did. But it got me thinking when I left the show, and I said this to my mom, God, I'm kicking myself for not spending more time asking, my grandfather, who was my mom's stepdad, Harry, was from Romania and probably went through a very similar situation, and I never asked him about it. And my grandparents on my dad's side, the same thing. And I beg all of you who have grandparents who are still alive, just pepper them with questions, because that's the only way you remember history, is when history is passed down to you. So, I spent 17 hours on the phone last night asking my parents questions, to the point where they were like, okay, we gotta go now. Talk to you later. I'm like, and then what happened?
We should have them on the show.
I would love to have my parents on the show.
We're gonna have to bring the show to Westchester?
No, they'll come into the city. This is how it'll go. My dad will drive around for 8 hours looking for a parking spot, because he'll never put the car in a garage. And my mom will just yell at him to just put the car in any spot, and she will keep running out and feeding the meter.
Well, actually, to stake everything together, Joseph is asking how he can get tickets to the Jenna Wolf Show, first of all.
Oh, just
we can combine the tickets, those kind of tickets. We can maybe start swapping those.
Yeah, I'm gonna
for high holidays.
Listen, we're gonna give out 2 tickets to the Jenna Wolf Show, and you guys figure out a way to scam the doorman so that you can come up to the rooftop here. We are in Midtown Manhattan, just to reset. It's probably low 60s today. Just a beautiful, overcast, kind of subdued kind of day in New York City. And we're having a good time. What else, Lance? Anyone saying anything else?
Yeah, so some of the people are asking why you're doing the show.
Why am I doing the show? I felt like I needed somebody to listen to everything in my head, number one, and there's a lot. I have also met countless really cool, interesting people, celebrities or otherwise, who, for whatever reason, didn't make it to the Today Show set, or didn't get a chance to make it onto Dr. Oz, or whatever, Meredith, or whatever other show I was doing, and now I have an opportunity to actually meet these people and spend time with them and talk to them and hear them and listen to them and get great stories and read their books and hear their music. And when do you get a chance to do that? And what a great platform. My mom literally puts this show on at 11. Maybe she learns something, maybe she doesn't, but she gets to see where I am and what I'm doing. She hears a funny story of someone who's had a more complicated morning than she has, for the most part. She has now learned why I don't wear my wedding ring on the correct hand, and she gets all this like great backstory, and that's what the show is too. A lot of great backstory. So if you guys have questions or you want to know how
well, some of the people are asking where the show is. They don't realize they're watching the show.
No, this is the show.
This is the show.
We're on a roof. We're on the roof of my building. Lance, why don't you take a step back and show them the set?
Okay, well, first of all, well, Robert, we have a bunch of questions here. So, one of them, which we referred to yesterday, is why did you shorten your last name? They should watch yesterday's show. And when somebody else is asking, when is Julia Roberts going to be on the show? And don't they realize that it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So
this is the Julia Roberts show.
The original title of the show was the Julia Roberts Show with Jenna Wolf, because who wouldn't tune into that? Why would you not want to watch that show? I want to watch that show. That sounds like a great show, better than the Jenna Wolf Show. But we couldn't do it because she wouldn't let us do it. So the next best thing was obviously the Oprah Show, but then she took that name. So we got Sloppy Thirds, which was the Jenna Wolf Show. So we're the Jenna Wolf.
Can we do the Jenna Wolf show?
No.
The James Michalewski?
Jim Miklashevsky. I should have Jim. Jim's a great guy. Jim Miklashevsky at NBC News, he's one of the smartest guys you will meet. He has a contact list that is literally the size of Manhattan, is basically what he... But Lance, why don't you stand up and move back and just take a look at...
I have to put my glasses on, make sure I don't trip.
Oh, that's great. No, not that. Go all the way back and then turn this way.
There's Seth Sorkin!
Turn around. Now look, we're basically in a living room. We're in a living room on the roof of a building. So this is what it looks like. And this is Connor, and this is Catherine.
We are still running the date with...
Yeah, I'll explain that. We'll do that in a second. Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I
that's...
didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Steal it, please.
Not before Rosh Hashanah or Kippur.
I don't want to steal anything on Rosh Hashanah. I can't. I already feel guilty for bringing gum on Yom Kippur and for sneaking in my iPhone and for stealing the tickets. I'm doing so many things wrong. Also, I'm very late to stand up on a lane, but that's for another.
It's awful.
That's a whole nother show. Anyway, I don't want to alienate our non-Jewish friends out there. No, thank you. No, please, I'm good. Lance just offered me high sodium turkey jerky, which will give me great breath and bloating. No, jerky's great. It's a great source of protein. It is. It's perfect snack.
I lost 35 pounds on doing this diet.
I'm just going to say what you said without food in my mouth because it's important. Lance lost 35 pounds on the Jenna Wolf diet. There. Anyway, 2 seconds or less before we get to a fantastic author who's about to sit down and talk to us. My name is really Jennifer Wolfeld, but in the television business, sometimes they like to shorten or play with your name depending on what it is you do. I was a sportscaster for 12 years. They felt that Jennifer Wolfeld was a little too, Long Island-y, like younger, playful, hard to pronounce. They needed punchy. They needed let's get right to the point. So basically, we shortened it to Jenna Wolf. But that I was given an option of Jenna Lee, Jen Wolfeld, Jennifer Lee, and Jenna Wolf. When I moved to Philadelphia to be a sportscaster there, I chose Jenna Wolf. It has stuck with me, and that's why my family is Wolfeld and I am Jenna Wolf. That's
actually,
the story.
my fans are piping in.
About
it was actually not me who did the job on losing my weight. It was Jenna who led me. They're saying good job, Lance. I think I'm assuming losing the weight, not on my video skills.
Oh, your video skills are terrible.
Right.
You know why? Because when you make a point, you go, it's true. What I'm saying is that, and so you're making people nauseous. So try to either rest
No,
your
don't try to make me
hand.
laugh.
No,
I'm going to
laugh.
eventually invest in a tripod.
Next week, it's going to be stable and you're going to hear me better. I won't have to laryngite myself by making sure
And we're going to do a whole study of this week.
Okay.
We may even have 3 tripods.
We're going to do an interview and then we're going to talk about Connor because it's a really important thing I want to get to, and he's wearing a stellar outfit today. So and actually, Connor and I are wearing pretty much the same shoes.
Connor, what brand?
Look, Connor. Look at Connor.
Oh, wow.
I've got the whole Ellen DeGeneres look going today. Do you see it?
With the gook on the bottom.
It's called life. Like, would you even want to be friends with me if I didn't have gook on the bottom of my shoes? That's crazy. I embrace this. I love the gook. This is my gook.
Actually, I have an exercise question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, they're saying that they can hear you fine right now.
Okay, yeah, because they're your friends.
Because I fixed it. No, it's Tony. Tony and I are not friendly yet. I mean, we're in connection.
What's the question?
Are there exercises to minimize a curvature of the spine?
When it comes to curvature of the spine, I always say definitely talk to your doctor because you don't want to do anything that is going to put undue pressure on your upper or lower back in any way if you don't have the blessing of whoever is monitoring it. But usually that's something that starts at birth and you just strengthen all the muscles around it and you are usually better to go.
And for Doreen's, I have one last question. I'll handle this. In the winter, we're not going to be broadcasting on the roof most of the time. If it's a nice day,
if it's a nice day, I'd love to still do it on the roof.
Right. We did our first show, like our first week, the first original show.
The first original Jenna Wolf show was done outside. I no longer have feeling in the left part of my body, only because I got frostbite so bad that I also lost. I didn't just lose brain cells. I literally lost like a chunk of my cerebellum. Actually, got lost. So I don't always remember my middle name, but again, that was because of what happened on the day that we decided to do the show in the wintertime outside in Times Square. So that's what we're going to try to do it up here as long as possible. And then we're going to go inside, and if anyone has a cool place and you're in and around New York City,
come, take the show on the road.
We'll take the show on the road. But let me just show you what it looks like. Can I take this for a second?
Yeah, sure. So don't mess up the sound.
I won't mess up the sound. I mean, look at this.
Actually, I hope you guys are getting hurt.
I mean, it's really cool, isn't it? This is
Stay on
where
down.
we are. What's that?
I was talking to them.
Oh, I'm just going to say hi to real people. Hi, look at that. Okay, let's get ready to do this. But let me say hi to some people. Oh, hey, Herman. How are you? Had the pleasure of working with Stephanie in Rio. Oh, that's so nice. You know what I need? My glasses. So I'm going to come off the table, which I'm standing on right now. What I did want to do was to show you what it looks like up here. And then if you have the pleasure to be in New York City anytime soon, come visit the show. We'll have some fun. By the way, this is...
Oh, there are people waving on there.
How many people are watching?
Right? Like, look how cute this person is. Like, do you not want to date this person?
Oh,
We're trying to set up
God.
a date with Connor. So if anyone is interested, just let us know. We're going to take a quick break, although Lance isn't.
Stay on.
I'm going to stay on, and we'll be right back. Okay.
Oh, that's me.